I want to welcome you back to Black Site tonight. We're going to talk about Mayor Eric Adams launching his mayoral campaign against Zohran Mamdani. First, I would like for you to subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, hit that notification button, but also comment on this video. Mayor Eric Adams, in a surprise, is launching his re-election campaign as an independent against Zohran Mamdani, who surprised everybody by beating Andrew Cuomo in a New York City mayoral election. He is a known communist or socialist, a person who believes that rent should be free, government-run grocery stores, $30 minimum wage, taxing the rich in New York City who are already taxed enough. New York City is the highest tax rate state in the country right now. And Mayor Eric Adams is saying that this guy is also an anti-Semite. I believe that Eric Adams was damn near forced to get into his election. It reminds me of Buffalo, New York, about 3 or 4 years ago, when a socialist, India Walton, beat Mayor Byron Brown. He came back to beat her in the general election with a write-in campaign because nobody wants a socialist running their city. And plus, his background of him being called an anti-Semite is going to truly hurt him in the general election. Mayor Eric Adams is not going to have any problems in New York City raising money. He's going to get millions of dollars from the Jewish community. You see in his re-election bid, you see the black community is behind him 100%. The faith leaders are behind him 100%. He's going to have the Jewish community behind him 100%. He's going to have other communities, the business community, behind him 100%. Because Zohran Mamdani, now he's going to be exposed for the next 4 or 5 months, not only by the media, but by Mayor Eric Adams, who is a tough campaigner. We know that Eric Adams was pardoned by Donald Trump, and you know that Zohran Mamdani is going to use that against him. Zohran Mamdani is going to say he's Trump's puppet. He's a Republican puppet. He's going to do that. Zohran Mamdani is a tough guy. I saw him campaign. I saw him give some speeches. He represents the youth. And youth always love socialism until they get 40 years old. Then they say, hell no. And they start making money. They don't like socialism anymore. But it's going to be a tough race for Mayor Eric Adams, because this guy has the Democrat nomination. He's going to have the Democrat Party behind him, full steam ahead. He's going to have AOC and the squad behind him, Chuck Schumer behind him. He's going to have the whole Democrat Party structure supporting him to be the guy who got a pardon by President Trump. So Eric Adams is going to have the black community, the business community, the Jewish community. He's going to have the money to try and take him down. This is going to be a mega battle in this race to win this election. And I believe that they're going to put up all their stops, especially the Jewish community, to stop this man from getting in office. And Eric Adams is going to use all his experience, all his guile, all his wisdom to confront this young man. He has already confronted him in his speech, talking about he's a divisive person in politics. But young people don't see that. They see him as change. They see him as somebody who's turning the table. basically giving them what he wants. When he said you're going to get freezes on rent, you're going to get a $30 minimum wage, you're going to get government-run grocery stores, you're going to get all this stuff. You're going to get all these goodies. But you always have to remember people, when the government gives you something, it's not for free. You're going to have people at the top managing your life, seeing how much goodies can you get. It sounds good, but it doesn't work. We have seen it in Venezuela. We have seen it in Cuba. We have seen it in Russia. And it did not work for them. Now you could say, well, they got free medical care. But what else did they get? Most of the people live poor. Most of the people have to get government subsidies. They don't get enough food. So how is this going to work in a capitalist society? Eric Adams won't have to worry about money. They'll be running political ads against him from now to election night in November. So Zordani is in trouble. He's going to have a strong will to pull out this election. He's going to have AOC, the squad, the socialists, the liberals, all of them working together hand in hand to push him over the finish line, because this is not going to be easy. When those in power come for you, you better duck. And Zordani better duck. He wasn't supposed to win it. It was supposed to be Andrew Cuomo. Cuomo dropped out. Now they got Eric Adams right back at the table. And Eric Adams was going to step aside for Andrew Cuomo if he won. But as soon as this guy won, you see nobody. Those in power, those who have the levers of power in New York City, don't want Zordani. To them, and I'm going to tell you, the Democrat Party don't want him, because Trump is already using him against the Democrat Party. Believe it or not, those in Congress, Pelosi, Schumer has to play along with it, because he's going to be running against possibly AOC in 2026. So he has no choice. But the true, strong, loyal members of the Democrat Party, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, they're not for having a socialist as mayor, because they know that the Republicans will use this against them in 2026 and 2028. Now, I want to know how you feel about this upcoming election between Mayor Eric Adams and Zordani. Who you picking? Who you vote for? Love to hear your comments in the comment section. I want to thank you for listening to Black Site. Hope you subscribe to this channel. Smash that like button, but also share this video.